Rightio, catching up now with Dylan Stratford. Firstly, mate, welcome to Campbells Comments.
G'day, Paul. How are you? Good to be here.
Hope I didn't wake you.
No, I was probably 10, 15 minutes off falling asleep on the couch, so got a Sunday off and maybe sleep on the couch not the best way to make the most of it, but it's always good to recharge the batteries.
Absolutely, that's what Sundays are for, I always thought. Friday night, 5 minutes past 11, when you saw that come out, you probably thought, oh, you're joking, what a late night that's going to be. Would have been a nice, simple drive home, wouldn't it?
The drive home was a good one, yeah. The fields come out and we hit the last race, and I was already trying to figure out how I was going to stay up for the last race at Ballarat 2 days before that, so a couple of late night races, but they've been kind to us.
They have indeed. We're talking obviously about Naked Ambition taking out the Group 3 graduate trot on Breeders' Crown Carnival. No crowds, unfortunately, but still to win a race on a carnival like this must be a good fillet for a young trainer trying to make his mark in Australia.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a real buzz, and probably even more of a buzz to win it with her too. So it didn't really probably sink in until yesterday afternoon. I finished work and sat down and watched the replay, and I sort of got to really enjoy it then. So no, it was great. It was a great buzz.
There was a little bit of talk about that last night on Trot's Vision at the end about when you stop and actually get to really appreciate it. And I think it's one thing we've got to really affirm with people. You know, you've got to be able to appreciate it. You've got to sit back, and it's not all about drinking beer. I'm a teetotaler. I don't drink beers at all. You just got to be able to take it in the achievement, because it is a big achievement. A lot of people are in that race. What was there, 13 horses, 12 horses in the race? They're all there trying to win, and it's a great achievement, isn't it?
Oh no, absolutely, and yeah, when you're sort of racing and working, and you sort of your mind's always on the horses, and even after you win a race like that, I think the drive home, still my mind was thinking towards what we have to do tomorrow and what the next thing is. So it's not till you sort of feel like you've cleared the jobs off your plate that you sort of sit down and then it actually sinks in.
She's been a nice little mare to you. She's beautifully named. I love the name. Now I've already done an interview with Lisa Miles, and she's at the beach, and I'm not sure whether I should put this one straight after it or maybe before it. I'm not sure which way I should go. But Naked Ambition, of course, out of Starkers, and Starkers has done a huge job in the breeding barn herself, full stop. But she also gets these sort of horses' names. I think there's another one called Birthday Suit, if I'm correct, I reckon. So you don't have to worry about that.
There isn't, a Birthday Suit.
Yeah, we don't actually get to see what comes up on your phone. I was meant to tell you that, mate. So don't panic too much about anything that comes up. But she's a lovely mare. Jared Maloney bred this one, and she's been a good horse to you, Naked Ambition. She's won 5 from 31, nearly 50,000 in stakes. She's done the job for you.
Yeah, she has. She's also been a little bit of a difficult horse. I think early doors 3-year-old season. We thought we maybe had something pretty special, and she really did sort of hit a flat spot towards the end of her 3-year-old season. She gets a lot of problems through her back end, and I think being such a highly strung mare, she can also go just a little bit mentally off. Loses that fighting spirit. So she's had her ups and downs, and I think last season every time we went into a big race, the Oaks or the Breeders' Crown or the Big Red Platinum at the start of the 3-year-old season, we hit a problem 3 or 4 days out every time. So to get her into this, well, it wasn't a Group 1 race. It was satisfying to get her there, actually at her best.
Yeah, and just let people see her best. And Chris, you're aided very much by a brilliant drive by C. Alford. He just keeps producing and producing. He left it to the very, very last minute to get out. Did you think he might have not pulled out?
No, I had 100% faith in Chris. He knows exactly what he's doing, and I was fairly confident when I spoke to Chris before the race that she was working good leading into it, so he knew that he had the horsepower underneath him, so no, he just timed it to perfection.
Yeah, and the Cranbourne Harness Racing Club, and that's owned by, it is Club 21, I was pretty sure it was. Yep. Great fillet for the reward that they give you to be able to repay them in a quality winner.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Like a bit of a shame that because it's quite a big syndicate. Bit of a shame that the syndicate members couldn't be on course for it. But No, I know that they got a huge buzz out of it, and yeah, as a trainer, you probably do get a bigger buzz knowing that there are so many people that are involved that are going to enjoy it.
For a lot of people that aren't aware, you're a Kiwi that's coming up to Australia, and they've done nothing but help you since you've gone to Cranbourne, and they're terrific in what they do, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely. They 100% have thrown their support behind me, and I think I've said a few times, it's a sport or an industry where you do need support behind you. You do need that little bit of help, and David Scott especially, but obviously not the only one. The whole Cranbourne harness community have been instrumental in getting to this point, and now getting the results.
David Scott, if we didn't mention the fact that you can get stabling there, and there's always stabling available at the Cranbourne Training Centre, we'd be in a whole world of trouble, wouldn't we?
Absolutely. I'm sure he'll be watching this to see if we get a mention in.
Yep, and when you go there, the beauty of it, you keep your horses there, and it's a good little community. There is actually a full-time keeper and the rest that looks after the premises for you. You've got the ability to use other trainers, people to bounce ideas off, good horses to work with, great facilities as far as your training track. You get the racetrack as well, got day paddocks. They're forever doing things, but probably the biggest... Sorry?
So they are constantly adding and improving to it too.
They are. I did a stable chat. Encourage everyone to go to Campbell's comments and have a look. Because there's a treadmill, there's a walker, there's a swimming hole, constantly evolving. But probably the biggest kicker, you get David Scott to walk around picking the shit up for you.
I think that's a privilege that I think only I get. If we say that too much, people might expect that David's going to go and do everyone's yard.
Well, I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to keep saying it. Get him to do the whole lot. You're having quite a nice little run at the minute, Dylan. How many horses are you working, mate?
Changes all the time. I think we're doing 12 at the moment.
Well, that's good. You're having a real good run then, because you've got quite a few numbers at the races going good. Meadow Valley Star, been doing the stable proud. So it's a good little team you've got.
Yeah, a lot of trotters, so I've just lost you for a second there, Paul.
Yeah, I know. It happens every now and then. We're okay. Don't worry. Keep going. We're right.
Yeah, a lot of predominantly trotters, and I think most of them under the age of 4. So they keep me thinking, that's for sure. But the run we've had the last 4 weeks, that's sort of what you do it for, and you appreciate times like this because we, without a doubt, like through the start of winter, we had a bug go through the stable, so you definitely have your trying times and your hard times. So you get runs like this, you really appreciate it.
Yeah, and you should, and it's great. I actually really like the fact that you had a bit of a let your hair down. I don't think you've got a lot more hair than me to let down, but you let your hair down and had a bit of a relax and enjoyed yourself, because I think you've got to. You would have a big team getting ready for the sires now, leading into Christmas. It's going to be a busy time for that part as well. Yeah,
it's going to be a busy sort of into November and a busy December. But yeah, really excited. I think this is the best team I've had coming into a sire stakes, and I think there's a couple of really live chances. So it'll be I'll probably be feeling a little bit of pressure, but that's sort of what I put on myself. But a lot of excitement too.
Meadow Valley Star, you're a Kiwi, and you've come over here. Kiwis are known for having a bit of time. It looks a big horse. Is it the sort of horse that just needs time to grow and develop into itself?
Absolutely. 3-4 months ago, I would have said, I wouldn't race this horse as a 2-year-old, and I wouldn't think he would be ready to race as a 2-year-old. But he's got so much more ability underneath him that I sort of started off thinking, well, let's put a couple of runs under his belt just so he can gain some experience, because he's sort of one of those typical big geldings where he's a lovely and caring, gentle horse that didn't really have much of an idea about what racing was. So the initial plan was, a couple of trials, try qualify him. If he qualified, a couple of starts just to educate him, and then set him aside for next year. So I thought he'd be a really nice 3-year-old, and I took him to Melton to qualify him. I drove him myself. I just wanted to look after him and see what he's doing, and if we needed to change or adjust anything. And he won his trial, and I don't know if anyone follows Melton trials that closely, but if a horse can win a trial at Melton with me driving it, they're going pretty good. So and then he's just continued to improve from there. So as he continued to improve, we sort of kept him going. I flirted with the idea of tipping him after Ballarat the other day, but I had a good chat to Anthony, and look, it's only 2 more starts, providing he can qualify for the size final. So we're going to press on, have a look at that, and look, if nothing else, it'll just help him develop a little bit more ring craft, following the faster horses around. So I think that is important for trotters, when you get to that higher up level.
And he has a bit of a gap, because I'm going by memory, but I think they're at Maryborough. I think it's about the 18th or 20th or something.
I think around the 20th or the 21st.
Yeah. Yep.
So he's having a few days in the paddock now, and look, we're just going to we'll keep his legs nice and tight, and being such a big horse, obviously we don't want to risk any injuries. He won't race or trial again now until the Big Bred heats, so he'll most likely be a little bit fat going into it. But I don't want to take any chances, sort of damaging him or overdoing him this time in, because what we see now is I don't think anywhere near what he'll be capable of doing.
Nothing wrong with carrying a little bit extra pudding, okay? There is absolutely nothing wrong with that.
I'm a big fan of it.
So am I. Meadow Madness is another little horse. Is that how I said it? Did I say it right?
Sorry, you just cut out as you said it.
Meadow Madness?
Meadow Madness, yep.
Yeah, that's it. So when I said it and you had this funny look, but obviously we're just having a bit of phone interruption, then I thought I've said the name wrong. Named out of being locked up in a caravan for a long period of time during Covert by Dave Scott. Burst onto the scene and won first up, but is he a bit of a head scratcher for you?
Absolutely. He's probably showing, giving me the problems now that I maybe had with Naked Ambition, towards the end of her 3-year-old season last year. This horse has got immense ability, I'm sure of that, and I don't often make calls like that, especially to the owners, and I've probably said it a couple too many times now. He hasn't won a race this time back, but on work and the type of horse he is and what he's shown me, his entire career, he's every bit as good as Meadow Valley Star, but he's got higher speed, and so in theory, as a 2-year-old, you should be performing better. His first up run at Melton wasn't as good as I thought, but probably wasn't terrible. He still ran his last mile in 2-1, and was up a couple of handy ones. Kilmore was a dreadful run, and I still, to this point, don't know sort of exactly what happened there. We did a lot of vet work, a lot of checks on him after that. Check his heart, check his wind. Everything came up fine. Bloods were perfect. They took him to Cobram just to try and get a run into him. Against the older horses, but it wasn't an overly strong field, and he just got too ready going into the first bend, galloped. But look, I wasn't on course that day, but Zach, who drove him, and David, who took him up, said that once he come back down trotting, they were pretty confident he ran his last mile quicker than 2 minutes. Zach was confident that he was back where he needed to be. Breeders' Crown Heat was an okay run, but once he come up, he was travelling, come off the back of him, and didn't really let down like he probably should have. So missed qualifying for the Breeders. And then obviously run third at Ballarat against Meadow Valley Star, but for the horse I think he is, and they didn't run overly quick time. That was his race to win. So yeah, still really scratching my head about him. He's not putting in terrible runs, but I think he's a far better horse than what he's doing.
And that's where I come with the head scratcher, was that last one at Ballarat, because I know Meadow Valley's got a nice opinion of him, and I can't think of the horse that ran second. Another horse got a nice opinion of him, but they sort of got to him a little bit too easy, I thought, for the run that he had, and that's where I was wondering where he is at with him, because his first win, you want to see a bloke walk on water, he's been getting a fair rap on this, but Dave Scott was up and about after that, and rightfully so, because he looked to be a lovely horse with a lot of up, and then now it's unfortunately just gone a bit pear-shaped, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, and once again, what makes it more confusing is, like, early in the season he was still pretty weak. He was pretty shaky in his gait. He'd sort of hop and skip on the bends, and he probably dropped a little bit of weight, as he was a couple of runs under his belt. So I wasn't really able to get the kind of work into him that I would have liked to back then. he was performing, better. Even he was making mistakes. His sectionals, once he got back down trotting, was still really impressive. Now he's trotting perfectly, and he's probably not as fiery as what he was back then, but he just seems to have lost a couple of seconds at the races. Yet his work at home, he's improved out of sight from the horse he was 6 months ago.
The frustrations of horses. Have we got any other earmarked for the Vic bred? We got any other like sleepers maybe that we haven't seen just yet?
What's that? Sorry, Paul, I just missed you again.
Any quiet ones coming up in for the Vic bred? Any that we may not know about?
Probably not. I think they're all pretty well performed. It's the four, counting correctly, the four main ones. Meadow Madness will go for the Vic bred. Meadow Valley Star will go for the Vic bred. Naked Ambition obviously will press on for the Vic bred, and Scootin' Around, who's having his first start back at Bendigo on Tuesday, I think he'll be going for the Vic bred, and I think he'll be my best chance for the series too.
Yep, very good. Good team of horses, mate. You're a good young man. Thank you very much for giving up a bit of time on the couch, as a lot of people spend the couch on a Sunday afternoon, and so you're not on your own there. But thank you very much for joining. But well done for winning the Group 3 on Friday night, mate, with Naked Ambition. I think it's a great effort, and keep doing what you're doing, mate. I love the way you're going about it.
Thanks very much, Paul. It was a great buzz, and hopefully we can carry it on.
And in all seriousness too, if you want to look for somewhere for stabling and the likes, look up Cranbourne Harness Racing Training Centre. Dave Scott and the crew, they do an amazing job. I think hats off to them to trying to get people into the sport, trying to keep people into the sport. It's great effort, as well as Cranbourne Club 21, and getting a diverse people involved. So hats off to them for everything that they're doing. So well done, mate. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.